Lyndhurst. Thank you so much for joining us today as we continue the 54th season of the Nordson Academic Challenge. The challenge of our show is the same as it's always been. 3 local high school teams compete for points by answering questions in math, science, history, a few other topics as well. Let's hear it one more time for today's teams. Berea Midpark, Brush, and Indian Valley. Yeah, welcome. Each team will be playing for a chance to make it to our leaderboard, and at the end of the season, the top 3 teams will be back to play for the championship and a $6,000 grant from Nordson. So let's get everything started with the lightning round. All 3 teams compete in this round. We award 20 points for a correct answer, but we will subtract 20 points for an incorrect or no answer. Let's start this match off. 100 points for every team. Everybody set? All answers here begin with the letter T. T. Here we go. Lyme disease is caused by this insect, Indian Valley.
Tick.
That is correct. Your shin bone has this anatomical name, Indian Valley.
Tibia.
That is correct. The 17th century Italian invented the mercury barometer. Answer?
Tycho Brahe.
Torricelli is the name. Torricelli is the name. Sorry about that. These wood-chewing insects build huge mounds. Brush.
Termites.
That is correct. This is the largest and lowest brass instrument. Brush.
Tuba.
That is correct. Old Rough and Ready was the nickname of this 12th president. Brush. Answer.
Taylor.
That is correct. The Greek god Poseidon often carried this 3-pronged spear. Brush.
Trident.
That is correct. This is a baby frog. Brush.
Tadpole.
That is correct. This is the capital city of Florida. Brush.
Tallahassee.
That is correct. For our final lightning round question, we're going to hear from Reed Kimball. Reed Kimball, the director of the education program at MAPS Air Museum.
The MAPS Air Museum is home to over 50 historic airplanes and more than 150 history-related exhibits. One of those displays honors a group of World War II African-American pilots whose commanding officer was a graduate of Central High School in Cleveland. Historically, these heroes will always be remembered as the airmen of what Alabama Institute?
Berea Midpark.
Tuskegee.
That is correct, and that's the end of that round. Way to go. We'll be back with more Nordson Academic Challenge right after this.
Nordson is honored to sponsor a program that celebrates academic excellence. We're a global industrial technology company with a long and proud history of giving back to the communities where we live and work. We donate 5% of our U.S. pre-tax profits to charity every year. Over the past 30 years, the Nordson Corporation Foundation has donated more than $100 million, and our employees have volunteered more than 100,000 hours. And now, we're pleased to support the legacy of Academic Challenge. Thank you all for watching, and the best of luck to all the participants.
More information about any of the schools that appear this season, scan the QR code you see on the upper right-hand corner of the screen with your phone. That code will then take you to news5cleveland.com's Academic Challenge page. We have links for all of this season's schools' websites for you there. Time to play Hot Picks now. One at a time, I ask each team 8 questions. A correct response here is worth 20 points. There's no penalty here for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 8 questions correctly will receive 25 bonus points. But before we get to the questions, let's meet our teams, and we start with Berea Midpark. Emma, you are the captain. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Rob. My name's Emma. I'm a junior at Berea Midpark, and I run track and cross country. I want to thank our advisor, Mr. Stevens.
Awesome. Emma, welcome. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a junior. I'm in band, NHS, and Key Club, and I want to thank our friends and family for coming out tonight.
Awesome. Hi, Jacob.
Hi, my name is Jacob. I'm a sophomore. I do marching band, soccer, and scouts, and I'd like to thank our alternate, Emma.
Very good. Okay, Berea Midpark. For your questions, Ben, you are the captain of Brush. We have envelope 1, 2, 3, or 4. Your choice.
4.
Number 4. Berea Midpark, these questions just for you. All set? Here we go. A major effort to produce a disease-resistant banana is being conducted near the town of Humpty Doo in the Northern Territory of what smallest continent?
Australia.
That is correct. Newfoundland is separated from Canada's mainland by what gulf with the same name as a seaway shared by Canada and the U.S.?
No answer.
St. Lawrence Seaway. The buildings have undergone extensive renovation on what island in New York Harbor, once the first stop for millions of European immigrants?
Ellis Island.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here is your science question. Which of these elements is not present in a pure sample of baking soda?
Oxygen.
Nitrogen. Nitrogen is the answer there. In ancient Greece, Mount Helicon was said to be the home of what 9 female deities who fostered the arts and sciences?
The Pleiades.
The Muses. The Muses is the answer. After a brutal siege in 1691, the phrase "city of violated treaties" was applied to what Irish town whose name is given to a type of 5-line comic verse?
Limerick.
That is correct. Let's go back to the monitor. Here is your math question. We ask you to evaluate this expression, giving your answer as a positive integer.
50.
50 is correct. Coffee is among the chief exports of what Central American country where Tegucigalpa is the capital?
Honduras.
Honduras is correct. Way to go, Berea Midpark. Nice job. Okay. Our second team today comes to us from Charles F. Brush High School. Welcome, Ben. You're the captain. Tell us a little bit about Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm a senior. I am the first chair clarinet player in our concert and marching bands. I also play tenor sax in our jazz band, and I would like to shout out our principal, Mr. Fordine.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Hi, Ken. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Ken. I play varsity soccer, football, and bowling, and I'd like to thank our alternates, Tylen, William, and Thomas, for coming out and supporting us.
Very nice. Nevaeh, good morning.
Hi, I'm Nevaeh. I'm a senior. I play violin in our orchestra, and I would like to thank Mr. Crane and News Channel 5 for having us.
There you go. Well, it's our pleasure, number one. Thanks for being here. All right, Brush, your questions we're going to get from Lawrence, Indian Valley. Lawrence, envelope 1, 2, or 3?
1.
1. All righty, Brush, just for you. Set? Here we go. Though he was found in the hottest part of Africa, the name Snowflake was given to the first known albino example of what largest of the great apes?
Gorilla.
That is correct. If you traveled across 66 degrees, 30 minutes north latitude, you would be entering what cold imaginary circle?
The Arctic Circle.
That is correct. Richard Lawrence, who attempted to assassinate President Andrew Jackson, was prosecuted by what district attorney? A man who had earlier written the Star-Spangled Banner.
Key.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. The edge of a rectangular aquarium will break up a ray of sunshine into different colors. Therefore, the aquarium glass is acting as which of these?
A prism.
That is correct. Many organizations spread from America to Europe, but Clara Barton brought to the U.S. what relief organization founded in Geneva?
The Red Cross.
That is correct. In The Mystery of the Sussex Vampire, Sherlock Holmes declares the case to be similar to a fairy tale told by what 18th century pair of German brothers?
The Brothers Grimm.
That is correct. Back to the monitor. Here's your math question. Evaluate this expression.
0.
0 is correct, and that was big. This is for the bonus points. The shortest war in history, lasting about 40 minutes, was fought in 1896 over control of what Z-initialed island, now part of Tanzania?
No answer.
Zanzibar was the answer. Way to go, Brush. Nice round. There you go. All righty. Last but not least, it's our team from Indian Valley. Hello, Lawrence. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Lawrence. I'm a freshman at Indian Valley, and I would like to shout out Rob Clark, Roger Andy McMillan, and Ira Wentworth.
Way to go. Hi, Krista.
Hi, I'm a senior at Indian Valley. I'm in student council and marching band, and I would like to shout out my dad and my grandma.
Awesome. Welcome. Maggie, you're up.
Hi, I'm a senior at Indian Valley, and my favorite foods are pizza and ice cream.
Me too. Good for you. All right, welcome Indian Valley. For your questions, we come back to Emma, Berea Midpark. Envelope 2 or 3?
3.
3. All righty, Indian Valley, these questions are all yours. Set? Here we go. Preservationists bemoan that Philadelphia has no surviving 18th century meeting houses from what religion to which William Penn belonged.
Quakers?
Quaker is correct. Possibly ostracized by its own kind because of a spinal deformity, what porpoise-like mammal was seen socializing with a group of sperm whales? Answer?
Narwhal?
Dolphins. Dolphins. 2 years before the U.S. Emancipation Proclamation was issued, Alexander II of Russia freed what type of feudal peasant who had been bound to the land?
No answer.
The serfs. Serfs. Let's go to the monitor. Here is your science question. The atoms making up a diamond are the same atoms making up which of these materials?
Graphite?
Graphite is correct. In dealing with the Americans, what prime minister of King George III not only moved in the wrong direction, he also had a direction in his name?
North.
North is correct. A children's charity received the royalties from The Tales of Beetle the Bard by what author who's earned a lot of royalties from her tales about Harry Potter?
J.K. Rowling?
That is correct. Back to the monitor. Here's your math question. Evaluate this expression, giving your answer as an integer.
1.
1 is correct. In 2001, questions about mankind's ancestry were raised by the discovery of a 3-million-year-old skull in what African country whose capital is Nairobi? Answer?
South Africa.
Kenya is the answer. And that is the end of that round. All three teams. Way to go. We'll be back with more academic excitement right after this. There she is, our judge from Cuyahoga Community College this morning, instructional specialist. It's Sarah Sweda. Sarah, thanks so much for coming down this morning and being part of the fun. All right, for everybody else, it's time to go head-to-head once again. This is our picture-perfect round. Every correct answer here is worth 20 points. But for a wrong answer or no answer, we will take away 20 points. This is for all three teams yet again. Hands on the buzzers, eyes on the big monitor. All set? Here we go. This peaceful Swiss lake shares what name with the conventions that provides Indian Valley?
Geneva.
That is correct. This portrait shows the 19th century actor Ira Aldridge in his most famous role, that of what Shakespearean Moor of Venice? Brush.
Othello.
That is correct. These turkeys are wandering through a small village in what South American country whose capital is Asuncion? Indian Valley.
Paraguay.
That is correct. What positive value of x satisfies this equation? Answer is 4. 4. This is a view of the Danube River as it flows through what Hungarian capital city? Berea Midpark.
Budapest.
That is correct. Which of these is a suffocating gas that may be prepared by reacting iron sulfide with hydrochloric acid? Berea Midpark.
Hydrogen sulfide.
That is correct. Flowers like these were a favorite of what woman who wrote the words to the Battle Hymn of the Republic? Answer? Julia Ward Howe is the answer. This issue of Cleveland Magazine highlights our region's private schools, which brings to mind the landmark Privacy Act of 1974, signed into law by which president on December 31st, 1974? Answer is Gerald Ford. That's the end of our round. Way to go. Another good one for all three teams. Don't go anywhere. Our exciting grab bag round to determine today's winner is coming up after we mix it up. Yeah. Welcome back. Let's say hello to today's advisors. From Berea Midpark, it's James Stevens and Keish Boudouchoir. From Charles F. Rush, Nicholas Crane is here with us today. And from Indian Valley, Blair Amler. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for bringing the kids. All righty. Time now for our Mix It Up round. One at a time, I ask each team 6 questions. A correct response here is worth 20 points. There's no penalty for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 6 questions correctly in this round receives 25 bonus points. Berea Midpark, you're up first. Set? Here we go. We'll transfer 20 points to you if you find in this phrase the last name of what Italian-born physicist, the creator of the world's first nuclear reactor.
Fermi.
That is correct. If you had just received some wonderful news, which of these adjectives would best describe your frame of mind?
Euphoric.
That is correct. You might see this phrase on a cereal box, but the letters can be rearranged to name what sort of two-wheeled, horse-drawn vehicle used for racing in ancient Rome.
Chariot.
That is correct. Fill in the blanks here with what same word to get titles to works by Shakespeare and Charles Dickens?
Tail.
That is correct. Which of these valleys is the lowest point in the U.S., located over 200 feet below sea level?
Death Valley.
Death Valley is correct. That was big. This is for the bonus points. This proverb, meaning with enough money you can accomplish anything, comes from what country where Dhaka is the capital?
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh is correct for the bonus points. Alrighty. That's how it's done, Brush. Okay, you're up. All set? These are just for you. Here we go. You'll gain a healthy 20 points if you find hidden in this phrase the last name of what English scientist who developed atomic theory and did research in color blindness?
Dalton.
That is correct. If someone had impeccable credentials, you would know that his or her credentials were which of these?
Unblemished.
That is correct. Instead of getting zany, see if you can rearrange the letters in this phrase to get the name of what longest river of China?
Yangtze.
That is correct. Fill in the blanks here with what same word to complete the titles of books by Amy Tan and Douglas Adams?
Fish.
That is correct. Each of these men was a leader in developing new technology. Which one aided farmers by inventing a steel plow?
Pullman.
John Deere. John Deere's the answer there. This is the last line of the poem The Unknown Soldier by Melvin Tolson, who became poet laureate of what African nation whose capital is Monrovia?
Chad.
Liberia is the answer. Way to go, Brush. Good round. All righty. Indian Valley. Now it's you. Set. Here we go. You'll find harmony here if you find hidden in this phrase the last name of what popular astrophysicist, the author of Just Visiting This Planet?
Tyson.
That is correct. If you said someone had a dubious reputation, you would be saying his reputation was which of these?
Questionable.
That is correct. Rearrange the letters here in this musical phrase to name the American Indian princess who allegedly saved the life of Captain John Smith.
Pocahontas.
That is correct. Fill in the blanks here with what same word to get book titles by Philip K. Dick and Tom Wolfe?
Black.
Electric. Electric is the answer. Which of these phrases is alliterative?
6 small squash.
That is correct. This warning comes from what Caribbean country where Kingston is the capital?
Jamaica.
Jamaica is correct, Indian Valley. Nice job. Nice job, all 3 teams. That's the end of that round. We'll be back with our final and deciding grab bag round. It's all coming up after this. All right, here we go. This is it. It's the grab bag round. This is a free-for-all. Each correct answer here is worth 30 points, but a team will lose 30 points for a wrong or no answer. Again, this is for all 3 teams. Hands on the buzzer, eyes on the big monitor when we need it. All set? Here we go. June is the most popular month for weddings. Second is what month that includes the autumnal equinox? Rush.
October.
September. September. It was not until 1846 the U.S. Navy permanently established the use of what 9-letter word to designate the right side of a ship? Indian Valley.
Broadside.
Starboard. Starboard side. You might send a Valentine to what southwestern state admitted to the Union February 14th, 1912, the last of the contiguous 48? Answer is Arizona. This Robert Henri painting depicts the rocky shore of what New England state that has the longest coastline? Indian Valley.
Maine.
Maine is correct. A strike staged by workers without the official backing of their union is given what name that identifies a non-domesticated feline? Indian Valley.
Boycott.
Wildcat. Wildcat strike. Choice. The first 4 planets in our solar system together have how many moons? 4, 2, or 3? Indian Valley.
3.
3 is correct. Although he was born in France, Godfrey of Bouillon became the ruler of what Middle East holy city, the goal of the medieval crusaders? Berea Midpark.
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem is correct. These were the words of what man? That's our final buzzer, so we go to the scores right there. Whew, what a game today. In third place with 380 points, the team from Indian Valley. In second place with 415 points, the team from Berea Midpark. Winning today's academic challenge with 430 points is the team from Charles F. Rush. Oh, it was a tight one. You should have joined us next time. We'll feature teams from Cleveland Heights, Our Lady of the Elms, and Wycliffe. Thank you so much for watching. I am Rob Powers, and we'll see you right back here next week.